Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Coltrin, and I'm making this video to talk about a couple of things that I've done for both work and pleasure. And this is exactly within the realm of carpentry. And so there's a couple of reasons why I do it, mostly because of for me, a peaceful feeling and just kind of the creativity and the fact that I have the ability to create something that wasn't there before. And we'll talk a little bit more about that once we get to some of the items that I've been able to build. But first I wanted to talk about the tools that I've used to build with it. So we'll go over here to this first saw here on the right. This was my first saw I ever bought. Not the best saw I've ever used, but it is a Craftsman. I got it for about $30 at Sears, and I like it a lot because of how versatile it's able to be. And I've used it a lot, so I think I've been able to gain a lot of skill using it, and using it in a lot of tight situations where you generally wouldn't. But because I've moved on and bought a couple other saws, I don't have to do that anymore. So another saw, one of my most recent ones I've been able to buy, is this one right here, this Ryobi. I love this one a lot because how versatile it is, and also this little blade. This little blade is so great because one of the recent projects that I used it on, was a dome top for a hope chest. And this is kind of a cutout from what I cut it, so doing something like this. Now this isn't something I would be able to do with this saw. It would have to be on a much larger scale to be able to use that saw. But I thoroughly enjoyed using this saw and still do. Another tool that I have had ever since I first started buying tools is this drill here. And this is a Craftsman as well, and I bought it at the same time that I had bought this one. It actually came in a set for like $30. And it's not a very strong saw, but it is constant power. If you'll notice, all my tools, they all have a power cord to them if I can. Mostly because I'm not a fan of the battery powered. I've always been afraid of running into a project and then the battery dying mid screwing a screw in or mid cutting something. And that to me is that's a pet peeve of mine. So I try my best if I can to find one with a cord. Some of the bits that you'd use for that drill would be found in a box such as like this. It has a couple different options in here, if I can get it open. You have some of the bits to drill some bigger holes if you're moving something through things or just want a hole. And then you have a couple other ones you would generally use if you're going to put a bolt into something or a lag or a hook. And then you have a couple of the different little bits here for screwing different screws in with different style ends. A star or a hexagon or just a straight line, whatever you have. And then of course there's always the hard manual labor tools. These are my favorite because you have 100% control over everything you're doing with them. We'll start with this hammer first. This is one of my favorite hammers. Actually, it's my only hammer. But I've been able to use it, of course, in situations where you just need a hairpin moved. And so basically you just hammer alongside of a piece of wood and it moves at just that hairpin of length that you need. Very powerful, very light as well though. The next one is this handsaw. It can be used for, just lost the word. It can be used for other projects such as this wood piece if I need to get into a certain area, or if I just need to shave just a little bit off that the saw would be too much for. Or of course it's also known as a drywall saw. And so, now some of the projects that I've been able to use or build with these tools that I've been able to use would be this here. A lot of my friends, they would call it the coffin. I had left for a couple of years, and this is what I had stored all my tools and everything that I had owned in. And it's held up pretty well. Now for the next one, this is my pride and joy. I absolutely love this hope chest. Now if we look over here, we can just kind of look at the style. When I got this is a pine hope chest. It was completely blank, that nothing had been stained at all on it. It had just been fresh from the mill. And I cut every piece exactly to how it needed to be. I had it drawn out, measured out, and priced out before I bought it. This piece cost me about $200 to make. Now if we take a look at some of the different pieces, you wouldn't generally find these pieces on Hope Chest, and that's kind of what I like about it. So if we take these pieces here, so we'll take this handle, I have the same handle here that I have here on the sides to be able to lift it. They are different styles though, but these are basically from horse bit if you were to use a harness on a horse or so. But I like them because they're strong and they're sturdy and they last a long time. And so if we go ahead, we'll go ahead and open up, look inside. We see that there's a cedar inlay here, which is perfect if you're making an object for clothing to go in. Most women will put clothing within it. And so this is a very strong scent because this is completely filled with it. You can still smell it after about 4 years. But if we look very closely, every carpenter is going to see their detailed mistakes, things that they've messed up on, that usual people will hopefully look over, we all hope. But of course we see the silver chain that goes along with here, keeps it from going too far back, but also adds style and class to it as well. And I've just used regular screws that match the cedar within the inside. So this does have a stain on it rather than it's not a paint. There's a difference between a stain and a paint. The stain kind of brings out different colors of the wood. And what I did for this was I stained it and then I sanded it down and then stained it again and then sanded out the areas that I thought would really perfect the piece. Such as this here in the front. I love this crevice here in the front and then just kind of the middle of the top. Kind of give it that worn feel too. Just kind of make it more unique and more genuine. And so these are a couple of the items that I've built. I built a gun cabinet. I've done chairs. I've done benches, and also a smaller personal size pistol for someone. Now these are all items that I've enjoyed making. I haven't made very much money off of them, but mostly because of the joy that it brings me to build them. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.